Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
here we go. It's back in 10 with the Boston Babes. 3, 2, 1.
The best leadership happens when you step away for 10 minutes.
This is Back in 10. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Back in 10. I am Savanah.
And I'm Jen.
Oh, Jen, how has your week been? Are you having a good
Oh,
week?
Savava. Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been very, very busy.
Yeah.
I know my family went to a medium last night, so that was fun. And actually my grandmother came through and talked about this lovely podcast last night.
Can you just briefly tell the listeners that experience? Because when you told me this morning, I got goosebumps.
Yeah. So I'll talk about that part specifically. So my
Yeah.
grandmother and I were extremely, extremely close, and she passed about 8 years ago. And literally the medium was like, okay, so I'm coming to you. So tell me, like, you own your own business, like you do this stuff. And she's like, but she's telling me, like, oh my gosh, like she goes viral. She does stuff on socials. Like she's like you have to ask her what she does. So she comes over and she's like, okay, so you got to tell me, like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, my friend and I have a podcast on dental leadership and communication. And she's like, I never would have guessed that one. Like, and she's like, but she's so proud of you. You're doing such amazing things. It was crazy. And I'm like,
Yeah.
nuts.
Nuts.
And
That's
then she was
wild.
like, well, do you do stuff for like moms? And I'm like, no. And now it got me thinking, I'm like, should I be doing stuff? Like, I don't know.
Yes, you should.
We'll see. But I was like, very interesting. Very
That is-
interesting. Like new crazy details about my family.
That's crazy.
So, Savanah,
Yeah. There is
now that you have cleaned up Groot's puke, what are we talking about today, my darling?
Okay. There are some things in life that we like to avoid, right? However, when it comes to leading a practice and our in decision making skills, it becomes a problem and an issue when the doctor avoids strong leadership decisions, and you have to be the middleman between the team and the doctor. So today we'd like to talk about the doctors avoiding it. Now what? What do we do? It's a massive leadership problem that I've experienced. Jen, I know you've experienced. And we all see the issue, but how do we approach it? And how do we lead in a practice if we don't have that final authority?
Mm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm. I have a lot of thoughts on this one, actually.
Whew, lay it on us, girl.
So the first thing that I'll say, I learned many years into this, right? Because I had a doctor whom I loved dearly, but hated conflict. Everything was like, don't disrupt the apple cart, right? I'll say, however, what I learned is it's difficult, but two, it's very hard to be in a leadership position sometimes when you feel like you care more than the doctor does. And now I don't mean that they don't care at all. That's not what I mean by any sense of the imagination.
Yeah.
But like to you, it's very clear, right? It's clear what needs to be done. You understand it. You have all the facts.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's like, it's fine. You're like, wait a second. Wait, what?
Right.
It's very, very confusing.
It is confusing. And it comes down to a couple of things too. Like we ask ourselves, why are the doctors avoiding these decisions, right? Are they, like you said, avoiding conflict? Are they in fear of losing a team member who may in fact be that top revenue producing team member? do they have personal friendships with this person or something that's do they have a personal relationship with whatever this difficult decision
Mhm.
is? Um and are they just like pushing it under the rug? And they're like, "Oh, time will pass. Once time passes, everyone's going to forget."
Mm.
Newsflash, when it comes to any big leadership decisions, especially when from the doctor, the team never, if they're like an elephant, they
Exactly. I
never
was gonna say.
forget.
Uh-huh.
They'll always
Uh-huh.
remember. They may not, it may not be in constant conversation, but they won't forget it. You bet your sweet Bippy, they will not forget it.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No, and I think that's when it becomes even more challenging, right? Because if you were avoiding things
Yeah,
and not handling the situation,
right,
it just becomes another thing.
right.
And the team members just start stacking all of those things up against you and up against the business and leadership, right? So then when something else happens, now they have fuel. They have ammunition to go with, with something else. Or the best part is when, say, you have a situation with a team member that is a top producer, right? Might not be like culturally aligned 100%, but is a top producer. So maybe there's some fear right there. So they're avoiding it because of fear. So you don't
Mhm.
handle that. Then a few weeks, a few months go by, and a very similar situation occurs with a different team member. But then you bring that up.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
then it's like you are creating that culture where it's okay for one person, but it's not okay for another.
Yeah,
And those are the standards that you set by your actions,
right.
right? So if you are avoiding things because of fear, I can understand where you're coming from because there are challenges there, especially in the current job market. Like you need a team to be able to support all of the patients that you have. However, if you are avoiding things because of fear, then you have a different cultural problem.
Right, right.
You need some serious communication and cultural alignment with your team because if you are leading from a position of fear and avoidance, you have a serious situation that you need to nip
Yeah.
immediately. Because if you don't, that snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and more shit is going to get stuck in it as it rolls down the hill.
Oh, absolutely. But I also think when it comes to the the office manager or the practice administrator, we have to really look at what the difference between clear decisive action is, like what is their authority, and then
Right.
where do they influence the
Mhm.
authority from the doctor, because
Mhm.
even though they may not be able to make any final decisions, they still
Mhm.
have to bring the issue, the impact, and how to
Right.
fix it
Mhm.
to the surface, right? And
Mhm.
I love how you bring up like avoidance. That is the number one thing that I have seen from all roles inside of the dental practice. But avoiding a decision is still making a decision, right?
It
You're
is, and
It's
that's what
willful
people don't.
neglect. It's willful neglect. Like, when we get on our hygiene team
Mhm.
of do the perio charting,
Mhm.
I don't care if there's 1, 4 in that quadrant, they still have periodontal disease. Like, you are
Right.
still if you're avoiding doing the SRP because it's
Mhm.
one tooth and you're afraid, there comes the fear, that the patient is going to be
Mhm.
upset that they may have to come back for a very specific appointment, and or there's more money associated with this service, like, you are still making a willful decision of
Yep.
avoidance.
Right, right. It's very similar, like, when you said that, like, what I was thinking is I'm gonna bring my grandmother back into this. She used to always say, like, "You can't lie to people."
No.
And lying by omission is still lying, right? So, like, you are making a conscious decision not to do something, it is
Yeah.
still a decision. And
Yeah.
if that's the horse, that's what you wanna stand on at the end of the day, like,
Yeah.
that's your decision to not do anything, and you need to be able to handle the consequences and the repercussions that come with that decision.
Yeah, sure. I I often hear too a lot of, "Oh, well, we just say we'll have to talk to the doctor. We'll have to talk to the doctor." When you know as the team
Mhm.
leader that the doctor is just emotionally checked out and
Mhm.
doesn't won't give you a right answer or will be
Mhm.
vague about it. So
Mhm.
you have to get yourself to a point where you're saying, "Okay, am I empowered to lead here, or am I being asked to absorb the consequences from the doctor's inability to make a decision," right?
Yeah.
Um, that clear communication comes into play, communicating with honesty, but you will lose credibility and trust with the team the more you have to say, "I'll talk to the doctor. I'll talk to the doctor." Because at the end of the
Right.
day, they don't care who is making the decision. They just want a decision made.
Right. And if you keep saying too, like, "Oh, I have to go to the doctor," guess what?
Yeah.
If you're a leader saying that,
Yeah.
you are losing your credibility. You are taking your own credibility away
Yeah.
versus if you said, "Let me look into that," or "Let me
Yeah.
just think about that a little bit, let me marinate on that a little bit and I'll get back to you about it." Give them a time frame, right? Like, "Let me think about it and I'll talk to you about that tomorrow."
Yeah.
They know that you're still gonna go and have a conversation with the doctor, but do not pass your authority as a leader of that practice onto one person that you know is an avoider. Don't
Yep.
don't do that.
And I really hope that you have that, well, the people listening, that you have strong relationships with your doctor to know that if they are an avoidant when it comes to any decision, you're able to speak up and say, "Hey, if you want me to lead this practice, I need to know where this authority begins and where it ends. Like,
Mhm,
where is the stopgap that
mhm.
you have to be the one to make the decision if you don't want to make decisions?"
Yeah. And I think, look, decisions that are made behind closed doors, and I think this is where the doctors can step up in their roles. If you
Yeah,
don't want to be like, quote, that person to be the one to implement those things, that's
right.
why I'm such a strong advocate for every practice to have an office leader, office manager, whatever the position is, someone other than the doctor that's really helping to lead and support the team and the practice while they practice clinically, right? Have those conversations behind closed doors and say, you know what, like Savannah, like if I'm the doctor, right, I'm the avoider and you're the
Yeah.
practice manager, say like, okay, this is the decision that I know that we need to make. I'm going to support you in implementing this decision, but like I'm going to stay out of it, right?
Yeah,
That is okay. If
absolutely.
you Now, if Savannah, if you're like the practice leader and you go in and you start to implement these things, and I come behind you and I say, no, 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 it's fine. We don't need to do that. Now, that's a problem. That's a problem. But if you're a doctor, clinical leader that's an avoider, and you have someone on your team that's your practice manager, again, whatever the title, and you can have that relationship and say, okay, this is the decision that we're going to make. I'm going to support you in the implementation of it, and I'm going to
Yeah.
let you run with it. But then you support them, you can still avoid like the conflict and all that stuff. Let someone else deal with it, but you better stand behind that decision.
And that is what truly transitions from managing a practice to leading a team.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I love that. I love that you bring to the dog, like, here's what's happening. Here is what it's costing us with this
Mhm.
indecision. These are the options we can go with that I recommend and I'll support you on. And then this is the impact that it's going to have, whether we do
Right.
it or we don't do it. Like,
Right.
it's almost like approach any kind of leadership decision how you would approach talking to a patient about their dentistry, right?
Mhm.
This is the
Mhm.
cost of not doing XYZ. What is the
Yeah.
impact? What is it going to cost financially? Like, we have to
Mhm.
make a decision. It
Right.
doesn't have to be different. You're just having a, a conversation with a different person.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Um, but
Exactly.
at the end of the day, like, docs, the docs that are listening, like, these office managers, they're held responsible for so much, and a lot of that is the culture of the practice, the how it thrives and vibes, but you gotta give them the opportunity to lead that practice
Mhm.
or make the decisions yourself, like, be the leader
Yeah.
yourself. Can't have it both ways, unfortunately. Just doesn't
Yeah.
work. It won't work.
No, exactly. And I know next week, Savannah, our next topic, we're going to dive into this a little bit more. So we want to make
Yeah.
sure that people listen to the next episode here too. So
Do it.
we'll see you next week, everyone. And until then, like, talk to your leaders in the practice and come to a decision together, and then just stand behind it and support each other.
Yep. My decision right now is more coffee.
There you go.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
What's also crazy is that my dog just fucking threw up all over the floor. So I need to just wipe it and spray it before it sticks over the next hour. So give me 2 seconds. Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. Oh my god.
Oh, Groot. Hi, Groot.
Groot.
Groot, what's
Grooty,
wrong, buddy?
Groody, Groody, pumpkin booty. What are you doing?
He's vomiting all over the fucking rug. This is ridiculous.
Welcome to the real life of Back in 10.
Welcome to Back in 10
I
with
just
Jen and Savannah, who is cleaning up her
Dog puke.
vomit.
Nature's miracle is the best thing you can do for your cow.
Product placement.
Shameless plug.
Unsponsored. Holy sweet fucking Jesus. What did you eat? This is ridiculous, bud.
You know, the thing I love when Savannah gets upset is the Boston accent gets really thick.
Oh, so strong.
Oh, so strong. It's fantastic.
And you know what's hilarious? So, Chris, like, there's two people in my life that have like the biggest Boston accents. One comes out more often, and then the other one was like, it was constant. Savannah is like the one that it's like, it's there and then it's not, right? Like, it comes out when she's very passionate about something.
We're very upset with a dog. Yeah.
My grandmother had the strongest Boston accent, Christopher. Oh, yeah. It's the strongest Boston accent, and like, tonic, like, soda was tonic.
Oh my god, Jen,
Tonic.
I say tonic.
Tonic, and then supper.
And I say supper. I was just gonna say supper.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Well,
Okay.
we now return you to your regularly scheduled Back in 10 programming.
Sorry, guys. Wow, what a segue.
Here we
So-
go. Well, that'll be fun.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us on Back in 10.
If something made you laugh, nod, or feel a little more human, share it with a friend and make sure that you're subscribed.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Back in 10 Pod for more behind the scenes, updates, and probably a little chaos.
We're not here to have it all figured out. We're just here to tell you the things that we wish someone had told us.
And remind you that leadership doesn't have to be perfect, just real.
We'll be back in 10.